Hola a todos y bienvenidos al domingo. As you might be able to tell, I decided to take a page out of Amber's book and shower for you guys today, but I don't like my hair being too wet for too long, so excuse me for just 1 minute. Hello everybody, I'm Cousin It. Alright, that's good for now. And again, welcome to Sunday. This video today comes to you in 4 parts. Part 1 is sleep, or lack thereof. I honestly think this past week the earliest I've gotten to bed is about 3 in the morning, and that was last night. That's not a good thing. And while part of it is because of Facebook creeping and watching YouTube videos, that is not all of it, which brings me to part 2. Anybody that knows me could tell you that I am not a big party person, nor am I a big drinker. In fact, if I were still back in the US, I still wouldn't be drinking anything more than the little cups of communion wine at church on Sundays. Here that kind of makes me the odd one out, especially considering the fact that there are usually Erasmus parties every Wednesday and Thursday, and sometimes more often than that. Since October, I've only gone to one of these parties, but on Thursday I decided to go because it's almost the end of the semester, and there are a few people that took finals early and won't be coming back after the break to finish them up. On the way to the bar, I was heading through a plaza at about 1:30 in the morning, when all of a sudden this guy said, "Hey chica, ¿dónde vas?" which means, "Hey girl, where are you going?" I just walked right on past him, but before I knew it, he had turned and he was coming up to me. He asked me again where I was going, and since he was right next to me, I kind of felt like I was obliged to answer instead of ignore him. So I told him the truth. I told him that I was going to a bar to meet some friends for a fiesta. When I told him that, he invited me to get something to drink and said he'd walk me to the bar afterwards. Finally, I got the point through to him that I was not going to go with him to get something to drink. I told him if he wanted to go to the bar that I was going to, that was fine, but I was going to be with my friends, not to spend time with him. And he decided to come. To my relief, just before getting to the bar, we ran into a couple people from my Spanish class who, as usual, were pretty much completely drunk before the party even began. They walked the rest of the way to the bar with us, and fortunately, just before going in, one of them said something about wanting a cigarette to smoke, but she didn't have one, and the guy that I had run into did, so he was grabbing out a pack to give one to her, and I used that opportunity to slip inside, and I went straight to the back where my friends were. Eventually I saw him come in, but I purposely avoided making eye contact, and I think he may have guessed that that was the case, because I saw him glance at me, but then instead of coming over, I saw him just go straight to the bar and get something to drink. And then, eventually, I don't even know after how long, he left. And to my relief, he didn't bother coming and saying anything to me before heading out. The next night, Friday, I had a dinner with the choir from the university here. It was a lot of fun, and I learned without a doubt that being a bit crazy isn't just a trait of people in choirs in the US. But after the dinner itself, we went to a bar, and it was even more crowded than a lot of them that I've been to before, which is something I'm not a fan of. When we were there, a guy came and asked if I was German, because he said I looked like I was, and I told him that I wasn't. But even so, throughout the night, he kept trying to come back and talk and dance with me. One time, he even put his arm around my shoulder, and without saying a word, I just lifted it off and moved deeper into the circle of my friends. I felt a little bit bad later because shortly afterwards, he said that he hadn't meant to bother me in any way, but after the night before, I really wasn't ready to deal with any more random guys just yet. Now, I know that some people would say, well, what harm can be done by just getting a quick drink or talking a little bit with a guy, even if you don't know him? And while I can see where they're coming from, I am also a very introverted person, and the chances of me going to get something to drink with someone that I have literally just met are slim to none, because I would just be way too far out of my comfort zone. I'd much rather know a guy as a friend, even if just a casual friend, before accepting an invitation to go and get something to drink at about 1 in the morning. So I guess I'm just curious, what would any of you do in a situation like that? Alright, moving on to part 3, another short one. Snow. We've finally gotten some that has stayed. My roommate from Uruguay thinks that I am a bit strange for being excited about the cold and the snow, and maybe I am, but I'm from Minnesota. What do you expect? Now, part 4 is, in my opinion, the most important. We need to get more interaction going on here. The point of this collab is to get to know other people, and while watching the videos helps, I really think we should try to do more. Maybe we could have a group Skype chat every once in a while or something. It might be a little bit difficult to coordinate thanks to time differences and whatnot, but no pain, no gain, right? Oh, and I also think we should all try to comment at least one time on each video. That shouldn't be too difficult. Just one last thing, I may or may not be able to make a video the next couple weeks depending on where I am, and if I'm not, I'll try to find someone to fill in for me. Well, that's all for now. Sorry this video was a bit long, but I look forward to seeing all your next videos, and Well, that's all for now. Sorry this video was a bit long, but I look forward to seeing all of yours this next week. And I guess I'll close by saying Merry Christmas / Happy Hanukkah, and if I don't get a chance to later on, Happy New Year.
There's so much more to see. We got galaxies and planets and moons, and an awful lot of running to do.